Hello, YouTubers and all happy to watch. I've been doing quite well. So this video right here is kind of a periodical pickups video of sorts. I initially got this device here because it's something I wanted to get to kind of back up and play some of my older games on a surface that I can use on the go that's not just a laptop. Now, I love my laptop quite a bit. It's a beautiful device, as well as I love my computer. I love my consoles that I all play my games on from the original sources. However, it's great too to be able to kind of just pick up and use a device that I can just uh, rip some games, for example, and put them up on through my computer via a USB DVD drive or through whatever means necessary, and even through my epilogue here, which I can just plug and play a lot of my Game Boy games just directly into my computer and just playing through the emulator that's provided, which is all great and wonderful, right? So you think to yourself, okay, then why would you need the following device if you have all that? Reason why is that it's a nice little convenient device that I can back up and store all my devised games or games up to a point and just enjoy them. And again, games such as this are all wonderful, minus this one right here because it's all in Japanese, so I had to translate this one or get an English version. But you get the idea. Games such as Or Die Trying and being able to just pick up and play them and just enjoy life. However, over the years, games obviously either wear or tear, or in this case, you want to preserve them as much as possible, or you just feel a little lazy, but you want to just play the games that you own or games that you just want to play, whatever. Personally, for me, I picked up this device here because one, it was cheap off of TikTok, and so I decided to delve into it, and it wasn't expensive. It was a very cheap endeavor. So I updated to the latest version of Onion OS, which is 4.3.2, I think it is, or whatever. But I ended up picking up this right here, which is the Mio Mini Plus. Now it comes in a sleek, nice little cream case here. Looks just like the Famicom computer system, which looks I got the reference of what the color scheme was here, and I smiled when I got this in the mail. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. It's a little subtle nod to that system, or it just happened to be per chance the color they picked when they picked this out, but nice little nod to the retro there for sure. This is obviously Chinese manufactured, but again, usually everything nowadays we use is Chinese manufactured, and this thing works great, and I usually have no issues with that front. But again, this came relatively fast. I was happy about that, and life is good. So the specs of this thing real quick to kind of go over them. It is a Linux-based OS. It came with an ARM Cortex A7 along with a dual-core 1.7 gigahertz CPU. The RAM was a 128 megabytes DDR3. The screen is a 1.5-inch 640 by 480 IPS screen. Just overall gorgeous. Now, it supports Wi-Fi. It has a charging bay or a dock or a hole or whatever. My brain took a fart there. I'm going to keep rolling. But this again can be charged through USB Type-C 5V by 4A, or 1A rather. And overall, it supports the following, which is a phone jack, which I fucking love that. It made my heart happy. 3.5 jack right there for headphones. And it supports to, I think, 128 gigabytes or so or more. But again, it supports a micro SD card at the bottom there. You can load it up with your favorite games or back up your games and store them up on there. Or you can even put certain movies up on there if you choose to. Probably won't look as great, but it's not bad. And again, it comes with the following things. Micro switched or micro like switched back here as well. Comes with the 4 buttons in the back, shoulder. Comes with only a D-pad with 4 buttons on the side here for your use of whatever fill in the blank here. Micro switched select and start, as well as a home screen. At the top here, it comes with 3 LEDs and the button up here. Powers on, and also it signifies to you when the battery is about to die or whatever else. And the load time on this thing is super snappy. See, comes in pretty quick. And again, it has a nice little menu here as well. You can play all kinds of different games if you so desire. Which is, let me load up one real quick. There it goes. What the hell was that all about? It's 2024. I'm playing Zargon on the handheld. But yeah, this one became freeware after a while and said, you know what? Let's play it. But comes with a little touch screen there as well, or a keyboard that you can actually use if you want. And again, going right back to the menu, it goes in relatively fast. Now, this thing cannot do a few systems, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, given the support it has, it allows you to play devices such as the Amiga, the Arcade, I think that's the BSX. I can't remember what the heck that is. The Atari 2600, the 7800, 5200 rather, and the ColecoVision, the Commodore. So I'm thinking the 128 to 56 and all that. Runs the Game Boy, GBA, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, the NES, the MSX, MS-DOS, which you just saw an example of, the Genesis, the Mega Drive, the Sega Master System, all that. It does the SG-1000, which is the predecessor to the, you get the idea. As well as it does some pretty spiffy ports, which I grabbed my copy of Quake off of GOG or slash, kind of super dark. But you can kind of see it here. A really solid port of Quake. Like it runs velvety smooth. Like I was actually playing a couple levels here, kind of just going blank, if you will. And it does have a really cool feature here as well, which you can, I'm toggling it real quick, which you press this button right here, you can actually toggle between different games if you want. That was Blood I was trying to run. Land of the, or Lord of the Sword rather, Action Fighter. So again, if you're playing different games, even such as Shokoden, you can actually pop in between each one of those. So if you're like, okay, let me hop between Handheld or whatever, you can do that as well. Again, it's really cool. Now, it just has all these nice little features. The community supports the hell out of it. And it just has all kinds of different means of being able to play like the Vectrex, the VIC-20, the TurboGrafx CD, the 6D, which I have a lot of those games I own backed up on there. The Sega CD. Now, again, it was kind of a bummer that you cannot actually use the Sega Saturn and the N64. Now, they do have a home port, as long as you have the personal ROM itself of Mario 64, but that's about it. And again, it has all kinds of different themes as well. So if you find one you like that looks better to you, you pretty much play that with that one. You can make the home here look really nice. I just like the SNES one. It's just the chip tune is just pleasant to my ears. As well as if you don't like how this looks, you can go to the advanced emulation settings, which brings you to this, very primitive or very straightforward, right to the point, brain fart, RetroArch. But yeah, basically you can load it up that way as well through the advanced settings. Again, I'm using the modern version of Onion, so it just really gorgeous. It's snappy. It works beautifully. And again, it has all these custom settings and features and everything else. So it just overall a wonderful device. I didn't pay very much for it either. Now, it comes preloaded with a bunch of games already, but I literally just formatted the whole damn stick because I was like, well, no, I just want to play the games I own. I mean, it's cool that these extra games were there, but again, I really just wanted to play the games I own that were, could work on the D-pad easily. And to my surprise, Quake works really damn good on this. But yeah, they pretty much, it's gray area what's included with the device. So if you don't care and you just back up all the games, that's up to you. But for me personally, it's a wonderful device for me to back up and play what I already enjoy in my collection. It's a bummer that because the RAM is not going to be able to hold up, obviously, the Sega Saturn and a few other devices like the PS2 and everything. That's just not going to happen. I wasn't expecting it to do that, but it at least being able to support what up to the PlayStation 1, as long as the games have like D-pad support, it works. It's wonderful. It just makes sense. For me, absolutely wonderful. Again, if you just wanted the device to be able to load up your personal collection of like DOS games or whatever else, the Amiga games, a really simple and gorgeous device. It works wonderfully. It has a great battery life here as well. And if the battery goes low, just plug it in, charge it for like maybe, for me, it took like 20 minutes tops and it just was fully charged again. And I was able to play for several hours. So again, the buttons are super responsive. None of the D-pad is excellent. The everything is incredibly responsive on this device, and it's surprising how cheap it is and how amazing the peripherals all are. I tried out the phone jack on it through the earbuds, and it was just really, really good sound. Highly recommend you to use the earbuds or use something to plug into there as like a, if you want to have like full surround sound, if you have like a speaker converter thingy for the jack, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain, but basically be able to do it that way. I'm not sure if you can actually do data through the USB-C to use, like a adapter for charging. It's not charging, but anything like a speaker wise, I don't know because I don't really use that type of stuff. However, in terms of a handheld, really good. And that's my opinion. So again, just backing up most of my games using it for that works wonderfully. And if you want something that's under $40 that does the job effectively, and it runs off Linux, and if you're comfortable with Linux and don't mind having small things sacrificed here and there, definitely grab it. Or if you want to pay probably 20 bucks more, get something with some analog sticks, do that too. But so far, really great way to preserve your games and play them. But for now, take care, everyone.